welcome to the Story Drop. And before this story begins, I need you to understand one thing. The man at the center of this story had already figured out what was happening to him. He had already started taking steps to protect himself. He had already texted his friends with words that now read like a warning from beyond the grave. He just did not move fast enough. And the woman sitting across from him at dinner knew that. She was counting on it. This is the story of Eric and Cory Richens. And it ends with three little boys telling a judge that they feel safer with their mother behind bars. Eric and Cory meet in 2009 at a Home Depot in Utah. She is working the cash register. He is in construction and comes in often enough that he eventually gets her number. They click immediately. He fits perfectly into her family. 4 years later, June 15, 2013, 23-year-old Cory Darden marries 31-year-old Eric Richens in the garden of their Utah home. They go on to have 3 sons, Carter, Weston, Ashton. Eric builds a multi-million-dollar stonework and masonry business from the ground up. Cory launches her own real estate company, buying homes, flipping them, selling them. She had always had enormous ambition. Her first job was cleaning other people's mansions. She swore to herself it would not be her last. And for a while, they looked like the dream. Travel, restaurants, activities for the kids. Eric coaches their son's soccer team. The family moves through life with the confident ease of people who have built something real. The surface is immaculate, and underneath it, everything is rotting. The first sign that something is wrong comes in 2015. Cory begins purchasing life insurance policies on Eric's life. Not one, not two. By the time Eric dies in 2022, he has at least 6 active life insurance policies, totaling almost $3 million. In late 2020, Eric discovers that Cory has secretly withdrawn $100,000 from his accounts. She has borrowed another $30,000 using his credit cards without his knowledge. He confronts her. She promises to pay it back. He consults a divorce lawyer. He considers leaving. He ultimately decides to stay. They go to counseling. But Eric is not finished protecting himself. He creates the Eric Richens Living Trust and names his sister Katie as the trustee, not Cory, his sister. In the event of his death, Katie will manage everything. Cory will get what the prenup says she gets, and not $1 more. Cory tells a friend something that will later be read aloud in a courtroom. She says she feels trapped in her marriage. She says the prenup would leave her financially destroyed if they divorced. And then she says something that no one around her takes seriously enough. She says it would almost be better if Eric was dead. She is $7 million in debt. Her business is $2 million in the hole. She has $80,000 a month in expenses. At one point she is paying lenders $2,000 a day just to stay afloat. She has been issuing bad checks. She has been submitting falsified bank statements. She has been routing money through accounts before checks bounce. She will later be charged with mortgage fraud and forgery. And in January 2022, just 2 months before Eric dies, she quietly changes the beneficiary on his $2 million life insurance policy to herself without his authorization. The change is discovered and reversed. Days later she applies for a new $100,000 policy on his life. And then there is Josh. Cory has been having an affair with a man named Robert Josh Grossman. She hired him as a handyman on one of her properties. Their messages talk about her leaving Eric, gaining millions in the divorce, then marrying Josh. She buys him 2 trucks. She sends him money. She lets him live in one of her houses rent-free. In February 2022, 2 weeks before Eric dies, she sends him a text message. It reads, "If he could just go away and you could just be here, life would be so perfect." And then 2 days before Eric dies, she sends another message. "Life is going to be different. I promise. Can I try Friday? Give me a few days. Hang in there until then, please." Friday is the day Eric dies. But money and an affair are motive. What prosecutors need is the method. And it turns out, Eric himself has already given it to them. While the family is away in Greece, Eric has a bad reaction to a drink. He calls his sister. He tells her he thinks Cory is behind it. On Valentine's Day 2022, Eric eats a sandwich Cory has left for him in his truck, packed alongside a handwritten note saying she loves him. He becomes violently ill. Hives. Can't breathe. He uses his son's EpiPen. He texts his friends afterward. The message reads, "You almost lost me this time. I think she might have poisoned me." He knows. He has put it in writing. He sends it to people who will remember it. And he is still in that house. Still sleeping in that bed. Still drinking the cocktails she makes him. Investigators pull Cory's search history. What they find removes any remaining doubt. She has searched confused. What is a lethal dose of fentanyl? Luxury prisons for the rich in America. Can the FBI find deleted messages? If someone is poisoned, what does it go down as on the death certificate? She has manually deleted texts from her phone afterward. She has also reached out to a contractor asking for fentanyl. He says no. She needs another way.
Her housekeeper is a woman named Carmen Lober. Carmen is already on probation for drug distribution charges. Investigators visit her home. Stuck on her wall, a printed copy of Eric's obituary. Drug paraphernalia on every surface. They pull her in for a parole violation. Carmen starts talking. She says Cory paid her $900 for 15 to 20 fentanyl pills the first time. On Valentine's Day, the day Eric ate the sandwich and nearly died, they exchanged 30 text messages. Carmen says after Valentine's Day, Cory came back and said she needed something stronger. She specifically asks for the Michael Jackson stuff. She means propofol, the anesthetic that killed Michael Jackson. Carmen cannot get it. Instead, Cory writes her a check for $1,300 for more fentanyl. After Eric dies, Carmen texts her daughter. She writes, "Guess who passed away?" Her daughter asks who. Carmen writes, "Cory's hubby Eric." Her daughter responds, "She poisoned him. She's rich now." Carmen replies, "No she didn't. Or did she?" Then sends a gif of a woman winking and nodding. Then writes, "Brain aneurysm for real." Her daughter replies, "I ain't even mad at it. Good for her." March 4th, 2022. 3 in the morning. Cory calls 911. Her husband is cold. He is not breathing. She tells the dispatcher she cannot do CPR. She says she doesn't know how. The dispatcher walks her through it. When paramedics arrive, the amount of blood from Eric's mouth does not match the CPR she claims to have attempted. Investigators check her phone. She told them it had been locked and untouched in the bedroom. The records show it was unlocked and accessed multiple times in the hours before she called 911. She was awake, moving through the house. Her phone was in her hands, and she did not call anyone until Eric had been dead long enough to be cold to the touch. At 3:58 in the morning, Eric Richens is pronounced dead. He is 39 years old. He is the soccer coach. He is the father. He is the man who knew. He is the man who texted his friends and changed his trust and consulted a lawyer and still could not get out in time. The medical examiner's report ends the aneurysm theory permanently. Eric Richens died of acute fentanyl toxicity, 5 times the lethal dose in a man with no history of drug use, no prescription, no legitimate source. 5 times. The day after Eric dies, Cory gathers friends and family and they drink and laugh and listen to his favorite music. 2 days after Eric dies, she hires a locksmith to drill into his safe. His sister tells her to leave it alone. It has been 2 days. Cory punches her in the face. She is charged with assault. She pleads no contest. At the funeral, both families stand on opposite sides of the room and do not speak. Months later, Cory appears on a local morning television show to promote a children's book she has written about grief. The book is about a child who loses his father. She describes the 3 C's of helping children cope. She talks about keeping the memory alive. She talks about continuity and connection and care. She sits in the television studio and speaks about grief with the composure of someone who has never once lost sleep over what she did. In May 2023, Cory Richens is charged with aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, insurance fraud, forgery. She pleads not guilty to everything. The trial lasts 5 weeks. Toxicologists, investigators, financial experts. Carmen testifies. Josh testifies and breaks down crying in the stand. Eric's sister testifies. The detective testifies. All of Eric's texts about being poisoned are read aloud. All of Cory's searches are read aloud. All of the insurance policies. All of the affair messages. All of it, placed in front of 12 people in a Utah courtroom 4 years after Eric went cold in that bed. When it is time for the defense to present their case, Cory's lawyers huddle quietly. Then they stand. And they rest. No witnesses. No alternate timeline. No other suspect. Nothing. They present nothing, because there is nothing to present. The jury deliberates for 3 hours. They return a unanimous verdict on every count. Guilty. 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 On May 13, 2026, which would have been Eric's 44th birthday, Cory Richens stands in the courtroom for sentencing. The victim impact statements take 3 hours. Eric's father speaks. He says no parent should ever bury their child. He says Cory's selfishness did not end with the murder. He says she used his grandsons as bargaining chips. He says she isolated them and filled them with fear. Eric's sons, Carter, Weston, and Ashton, submit written statements to the judge. Carter writes, "I'm afraid if she gets out she will come after me and my brothers. I miss my dad, but I do not miss how my life used to be. I don't miss Cory. I will tell you that." Weston says he feels hateful and ashamed when people talk about his mother because she took away betray his dad. Ashton says, with her in jail I will be able to feel safe and live a happy and successful life without fear of her hurting me or anyone I love. These are children, her children, saying these words about their mother. Cory speaks for 30 minutes. She tells her sons she is not perfect. She tells them secrets destroy trust. She tells them not to be like her and Eric. She says, and this is the sentence that will follow her into every prison cell she ever occupies: the one thing I can't give you boys are the answers you want the most, because I can't give you something I don't have. She claims she does not know how the fentanyl got into his body. In a case where she searched, what is a lethal dose of fentanyl? In a case where she paid for fentanyl twice. In a case where Eric nearly died on Valentine's Day. In a case where she was awake and moving while her husband lay dying in the next room. She does not know. The judge sentences her to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He says, a person convicted of those things is simply too dangerous to ever be free. Cory Richens was 39 years old. He coached his son's soccer team. He built his business with his hands. He knew something was wrong. He told people. He changed his trust. He contacted a lawyer. He texted his friends, "You almost lost me this time." And then he went home. And he drank the cocktail she made him. And he took the gummy she gave him. And he went to sleep. And he never woke up. This is not a story about a monster. Monsters are easy to spot. This is a story about a woman who sat across from her husband at dinner and made him a drink and watched him walk to bed and waited. And those are the ones you never see coming. I want to ask you one thing before you go. Eric sent texts. He changed his trust. He went to a lawyer. He knew. What would it have taken for him to walk out of that door? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more stories like this, The Story Drop has them. Go find your next one.